What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about Naked Brand Group stock, ticker symbol NAKD, soon to be known as Cenntro Automotive Group. This stock has been doing decently today, and if you take a look at the chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. We're up about 1% on the day, whereas the overall markets are actually down a little bit. So this stock is actually today outperforming the markets, and it sure needed it because it has been falling over the past 5 days or so. It has been falling quite a ways, and this is actually on the merger news, right? This merger with Cenntro Automotive was approved by Cenntro just 4 days ago. And ever since then, this stock has been falling quite a bit because the company did a reverse share split. That's been confusing a lot of investors. There's also some pressures to get this thing lower, potentially by shorts. There aren't a ton of shorts hoping for it, but some shorts are also hoping that this thing will move down to actually stop the merger with Cenntro from going through, which we're going to talk about near the end of this video. And we've also got some good news coming out for Cenntro. So there's a lot that we have going on with it, and some things that we need to talk about. So first off, we'll start with the good news, and that is that they have produced and delivered their first Logistar 200 light urban delivery vehicle and delivered it to the European market. So they actually produced a record 628 vehicles in a single month in December. This is their highest volume in a single month ever. And this is going to keep them on track to reach the 20,000 vehicles that they're hoping to deliver in 2022. So they have actually put out some projections, and some pretty good projections at that, explaining that they think they'll have far more vehicle deliveries in 2022 and 2023, and that they'll be getting a lot more revenue from that. We're going to talk about that in a second. But as of December, they were able to produce 628 vehicles. The newly launched model, the Logistar 200, and this vehicle is a delivery vehicle purposefully built to navigate European streets, so it's no surprise that it's performing exceptionally well in Europe, and you can see why you need vehicles purposely built for European streets, because they are thin sometimes. I'm sure it's not all European streets, but at least this street, I think this is a picture from Spain, and it looks very thin on the streets. So this is the Logistar 200, and you can see this is Centro's website. And it has a couple different options that you can get. You can get it like this van, or you can get a second version of it that has a little storage compartment on the back. So there is some utility in this thing. And this is a commercial vehicle, first of all. So, you or I couldn't buy this. You'd have to be a company if you wanted to buy this. But we also have a quote from the CEO explaining some of his sentiments towards the company and how proud he is of it. So he says, "We are excited about our achievements in December, the successful launch of the new model, and the ability to ramp up our production for the different models." And he says that they not only demonstrated their abilities to design and produce innovative electric vehicles, but also showed that they have the abilities to produce and deliver them as well, which is a big issue that we've seen with EV companies in the past, specifically Tesla, right? They oftentimes, at least in the early stages of Tesla, years and years ago, they used to be really good at creating these vehicles and marketing them and having a bunch of people place orders, and then they wouldn't always hit their production or delivery numbers. So that has been an issue with EV companies in the past, and it's really good to see that that is not an issue that we're having with Cenntro or NAKD, because it looks like they're actually breaking their old records of vehicle deliveries and production. So it's overall looking like a pretty good thing, the fact that they're able to be, by the end of this year, that they've been scaling up production so much, and that they're still expecting to not just make expectations, but potentially even beat expectations in 2022. We're going to continue reading this quote from Peter Wang, the CEO of Cenntro Automotive. He says, "With the working capital injection from the merger with Naked Brand Group, we are confident that we will meet our production guidance of 20,000 vehicles next year, and that we are well positioned for accelerated growth in 2022 and beyond." And that is a really good thing for the stock price, for NAKD stock price, because this stock has been falling quite a bit over the past 5 days. You can see we've been moving down, and that has discouraged a lot of investors. Now, my suspicions about this, as I've gleaned from the comment section of the last video that I posted on this stock, are that a lot of people did not know this merger was going through. I had a lot of comments from confused people about where the heck their shares went. They wanted to know why the price had changed. They wanted to know why they didn't have as many shares as they had before. Some people were even complaining that they had no shares available, and that's potentially because they had less than 15, because on this day, on the 22nd, that's when NAKD did their reverse share split. They took 15 shares, crammed them into one share, and raised the price to reflect this. And you can actually see there was a little bit of a jump when this happened, all the way up to, I believe, $7.75. Since then, we have fallen a bit, right? Because people, potentially confused people, have been selling their shares. They don't understand this new company. They probably hadn't heard of the merger before, at least a decent number of people, as I have gleaned from the video that I posted in the comments that were under it. A lot of people did not know this merger was going through, and people have potentially been selling off their stock as they've noticed it falling. Now, we're going to take a look at the short interest, but before we do, I want to show you guys the channel analytics. We actually have 8,869 subscribers. So if you guys would like to subscribe to the channel to get some more NAKD stock or Cenntro Automotive stock news, feel free to subscribe. We're trying to get to 9,000, so we're only about 150 away. So feel free to join the family and get some more news about Cenntro Automotive. That would really help out. I would really appreciate it. But on to the short interest. So when this merger actually went through, you can see that the short interest decreased dramatically. And that's actually not because a ton of shorts were exiting. Potentially some were exiting, but this is actually reflecting the reverse share split that went on, right? Because every 15 shares turned into one share, and that applies to shares that were short as well. So every 15 shares short turned into one share short at a much higher price. So that's actually why this red line right here is decreasing so dramatically during the reverse split that NAKD stock went through. It's not actually that a lot of shorts were exiting. It's actually that a lot of short shares were being consolidated into fewer shares short, and Ortex, for whatever reason, hasn't updated the past short interest, right? They just started telling us what it is nowadays. So currently there are 1.58 million shares short, or 2.57% of the free float. So overall, there really aren't that many shorts in NAKD stock. It's only about 2.5% of the free float that has been shorted. So really not too many people think that NAKD stock is going to do too poorly. Now, obviously, if a short was in this stock from the time of the merger, when it went through, they have made a hefty 34.75% profit. So there has been some money to be made. However, I think that will be more short-term gains for the shorts. I don't think that they'll actually be able to sustain gains like that. I don't think that Cenntro or NAKD will continue to drop. I think that instead will probably begin to rise in 2022 as we start to get more fundamental news for NAKD, as they actually change their name to Naked Brand Group, which should happen at the end of the year, probably sometime before 2022, as they've said in this on this post on their own website, explaining the 1-for-15 split, right? They say the reverse split is intended to enable the company to meet the minimum share price requirement for its acquisition of Cenntro Automotive Group. And so essentially they're saying that they need to keep the share price on average above $5 per share for 5 days following this merger that went through. So over the past 4 days, they have maintained price above $5. They just need the average price to be above $5 is my belief. So we could even fall below 5 today and the merger would still go through. And then probably tomorrow or over the weekend, we might see Cenntro begin to take its name instead of Naked Brand Group, right? Naked Brand Group right here would probably be replaced with Cenntro Automotive Group. So that's when we'll probably see the acquisition go through, because they did say that the company expects to close the acquisition by the end of 2021, subject to the NASDAQ having approved the listing application. And they did say that the minimum price requirement was so that the NASDAQ could approve the listing application, right? So they are hoping that this thing won't drop too much. They don't want it to drop. If it dropped like below $2, then maybe the merger wouldn't go through. But shy of that, I think that we have a pretty darn good chance of the average price being above $5, and this merger should be going through. So I expect that we'll probably see that happen sometime in the next couple of days before the year changes to 2022. Obviously, sometimes companies are late, but at least their expectation is that they expect the acquisition to close before the end of 2021. So that's what they said right here. So that's when I'm expecting them to turn into Cenntro Group officially, right? So they've technically done it already, but they need that minimum share price requirement to be met for the 5 days following this merger. So we should see that happening sometime over the next couple of days, as long as they don't drop in price too much. And I'm expecting that 2022 could be a really good year for them, right? Because we have seen record vehicle delivery numbers. Where was that? Yep, 628 vehicle deliveries in December, and we're on track to meet 20,000 in 2022. The company, the CEO, has said that they are well on track to be doing that. I expect that to happen. I think that Cenntro stock will definitely be benefiting as more people become acclimated to this new stock trading under the name NAKD, as people who were in NAKD and don't want to be in an EV company, if they were just interested in the swimwear company Naked Brand, then they can get out of this stock and let some other EV investors get in. I think that once all of this confusion clears up, that's really going to help out, and a lot of the fear surrounding the most recent drop that they've been on clears up, I think that should really help the stock as well. So I think that in 2022, we could be looking at a very bright future for Cenntro because all of the news is very positive and they have been keeping on target with their projections. So I expect nothing short of a pretty good 2022 as long as the market doesn't crash overall. So other than that, guys, that's what I've got for you on NAKD stock. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I'm not recommending that anyone buy or sell any stocks. I'm just letting you guys know my opinion on the stock as well as some of the news. So if you guys appreciate that, feel free to hit the subscribe button and like the video down below. But other than that, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.